Stream draft number 88 for me on the year. And today, guys, it's going to be all about having some fun. Who are the fun clicks in a draft? The guys that I want to have just to have a good time, but also guys who are giving me a shot at winning the big money in Best Ball Mania. Of course, I'm already in a draft room here. Let's pull down the Chiron. Let's put me in the corner. Nobody puts Spags in the corner besides Spags himself, but I'm picking the 10 hole today. Maybe a spot if the fates are kind to me that we can get Puka Nacua and Marvin Harrison Jr., the Week 17 correlation, and two unquestionably fun clicks. We'll find out. Maybe I'll be forced to take the least fun click in any draft, Garrett Wilson, whose quarterback already is hurting his foot in practice, and he's gimping around in May. So really great things for the Jets. Really great things for Garrett Wilson, a guy who I don't like very much. But that's not about fun clicks. Today it's about having fun. That's what these streams are for me every single day, guys, where even if I'm beating somebody up over their bad Justin Herbert takes said too arrogantly in text, I'm still going to be here having a good time for me. And that's what these streams are. It's about me trying to enjoy myself while drafting a team that wins me $1.5 million, maybe even wins me multiple spots in the top 20 in BBM, because that's likely to happen, right? But that's what this is really, like more than anything else. And I do want to make that pretty abundantly clear because people don't like sometimes when I get like ornery. Some people do. A lot more people do than don't. But it's like, I don't need your butthurt comments about it. Like you're watching my journey. If you want to watch my journey, great. But it's more like a reality TV show than it is anything else, I would say. You're just experiencing me being Truman here before I escape on a boat in the middle of the night. A fake boat in fake water. All right, so Puka Nacua goes at his usual 8 spots. We will not have that level of fun today. How much fun do I want to have? Because like A.J. Brown, fine player. I keep taking him. More fun play for me would be Marvin Harrison Jr. here. But I'll take A.J. Brown. We'll have, I guess drafting a wide receiver in the first round is still inherently fun. So we're going to have some fun there. Garrett Wilson, though, objectively unfun. That's why I have him ranked much lower than market. Shout out to the chat, though, of course, who comes along with me on the journey. We enjoy you, Spags. Thank you, Ben. The regulars are. Justin Herbert asked me, all right, if you're making it into a bit creamy sauce, you can win me over that way. At least the Jets backup is in Zach Wilson. That's true. Jeff, who I still have not added to the sheet because I have to rearrange the sheet, and I just didn't even think of doing it this morning. But Jeff, before Friday, you're going to get your name on that roll call before we do the reading of names. For tomorrow, oh, God, the week flies by, even though we now have Saturdays as well for drafts. So goddamn, if only Puka had fallen. So Olave goes 13, which some people believe in. I do not. We're having fun with the boy in the thumbnail. We're correlating for last year's Week 17. We're getting Marvin Harrison Jr. in the mix. A.J. Brown, Marvin Harrison Jr. start. Marvin Harrison, to me, again, a fun click. A click, too, that I think people might feel like, oh, because it's fun, that's part of why he's going a little bit earlier than they feel like a first-round rookie should. I get it to that extent. I get people have a hard time projecting players who are, let's say maybe generational talents going into wide open target trees in a team like Arizona that we expect to be ascendant. But honestly, to me, I just think the Cardinals overall are one of the more fun clicks. Like I like taking Trey McBride. I wasn't the hugest Kyler guy last year. I think that he showed me, and really Jonathan Gannon with that offense, Drew Petzing, the offensive coordinator, they showed me that they're a team that can be fun. Like the Josh Dobbs thing for Kyler even came back. That was pretty fun too. So I think for me, the Cardinals are the more fun click, but Harrison, just how great he was. Of course, we talk about the EPA metrics a lot here. A tremendous outlier in EPA, even with a big drop in QB play for him this past season. Then you add in the fact that he's a great target earner and the fact that he's a big-bodied guy who's going to play outside. For me, Marvin Harrison just fits all the criteria. And again, just fun to watch. Like he's more of a pure discipline route runner guy, but he makes pure discipline route running look better than anything. So that's basically it. With you on Garrett Wilson going too high. Same with Olave. Honestly, if you told me Olave had Garrett Wilson's ADP this year, I'd be like, really? But you kind of walk that back and you get it. I guess the overall involvement of Taysom Hill is not a great thing for touchdown equity for anybody in that offense. I would say overall as well that, for Olave, he's not a red zone threat really either. So that's not great. Like when you're not a great red zone threat, you have a guy who's getting deliberately schemed red zone touches over and over again. I would say that's not a great thing either. You compare it to the Jets situation where I know people, oh, Mike Williams is old. It's coming off ACL. He's still a guy they paid $10 million for, or more than that. So Mike Williams coming in, Malachi Corley coming in, Lazard, the Aaron Rodgers safety blank, he's still getting first team work. You have Breece Hall getting supplemented, we'll say, maybe supplanted by 5 new running backs coming into the depth chart. It does seem like Braylon Allen is a guaranteed backup there. Like, to me, that team isn't fun. And it's a team, too, that we know Robert Saleh as the head coach, even though he's now overseeing more directly Nathaniel Hackett and being involved in the offense, it's still a defensive team that wants to win in defensive ways and have, the running back do a good amount of work as well. I just don't think the Jets are fun. Like, I don't think they're fun at all. And I think the way they're going to win isn't going to be fun. And the, fun and fantasy success kind of go hand in hand. So I don't know. But I've made the case before. I've talked, ill of Breece Hall enough. Even I think Breece Hall's talent's tremendous, but he had to get like 12 targets a game down the home stretch to really hit a ceiling there. And even not even a ceiling, like to give you 20 points in a game, he had to like get 12 targets a game. Just don't think that's going to be there this year when they've added so many guys at running back, seemingly to take pressure off of them. But we will see. To me, Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson would feel a lot better as second rounders. I think they're first rounders out of inertia primarily, and Breece Hall because of the talent and because Pat Crane is a genius and has made his career off of touting Breece Hall. That probably helps too. Why is Marvin more proven more of a Garrett Wilson who's proven to be clear, the Hall of Famer that Garrett Wilson is with was not good the last time he played football for an entire season. Let's be really mindful of that, first of all, even though he did create a good year for Christian Watson. Marvin Harrison's coming into Arizona, who's going to be an offense that last year produced pretty well, that saw guys have a lot of opportunity that were not deserving of that opportunity necessarily. The guys like Michael Wilson did better than I would have thought. He's not Marvin Harrison Jr. Marvin Harrison Jr. is an elite prospect coming in. Garrett Wilson's a pretty good guy who's been now a negative EPA receiver who hasn't really won anybody anything in 2 straight years. So that's the difference to me. You can take who you want. Again, this is about my take and how I feel about things. I would rather have Marvin Harrison over Garrett Wilson every single time if I could. It's a fun click. Obviously, I have McBride valued a little bit higher, so I could hold off on him theoretically. Don't mind Derrick Henry. Not sure I would call him a fun click. Other than Corey, I could take Jalen. Jalen would be kind of a fun click. All right, let's do a fun click here. Jalen Hurts, come on down. Not as fun as the guy yesterday who got Jalen Hurts at pick 47 after reaching early for Devontae Smith. But, that's it. There we go. Hey, I appreciate you, Thick Brown Line. I appreciate your username, and I appreciate that as well. Ultimately, that's it. Like, if you love Garrett Wilson, I get it. But, like, Arizona, to me, like, it's still a defensive coach there. So if I want to, criticize myself for a thing, like Jonathan Gannon's a defensive coach. But, it's Kyler Murray on offense, still a guy that we know has created big fantasy production, not just for himself, for alpha receivers in the past. And really, you have the talent there with Marvin Harrison Jr. and Trey McBride. To me, like, that's just a lot that can make that team one of the more fun offenses. And they're in a division too, where you got to put up points. You got to put up points against the Rams. You got to put up points against the Niners. Like, even the Seahawks are evolved in this, in the mold of Ryan Grubb being there, their offensive coordinator coming in for University of Washington. Seattle might be explosive too. So really, there's, I think, a lot of reasons to like Arizona more than the Jets, but we'll see. I would certainly think the AFC East, like you look at those teams, besides Miami, you're looking at a lot of teams that I think are going to win more ugly than not, but we'll see. If they even do win in the Patriots case. All right, so we did push McBride all the way back to us. So 2 deviations here early. No running backs either, but we are live for an Arizona double stack with Kyler, with Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown. I like this grouping, and I do think for as much not fun as I think A.J. Brown is, especially relative to some of the younger names, some of the other offenses that, did not fall apart on the home stretch of last year, having Kellen Moore there is something that I think I'm personally not doing a good enough job adjusting to. Kellen Moore is a guy that I swore by heading into the Chargers last year because of the Chargers ADPs. I wasn't there enough. And I had like legitimate pangs of regret watching Keenan Allen go off until he basically stopped playing and Mike Williams got hurt and too much attention went Allen's way. So he wasn't quite the same guy after that first half of the season. But to me, like Kellen Moore being in Philadelphia really should make A.J. Brown the most fantasy productive version of himself, I would think. So with Jalen Hurts, I like this concentrated bet, even though, I think they're more fun clicks than A.J. Brown. Like, I think Drake London's more fun right now just because it's like, oh, we're getting a part of this new exciting offense that could be a game changer in a dome. But in reality, A.J. Brown getting Kellen Moore might low-key be just as fun. Had to take a naked Kyler 12 picks past ADP yesterday because the other options were disgusting. Trying to cope. I mean, look, if you're taking him as a discount, I get it. What are you going to do? Still backstack him. Like Michael Wilson, honestly, he had like a 0.2 EPA per target last year. Better than I would have thought because he didn't do that in college. So for him to be able to do that in the pros while taking a leap up in competition, I think is a decent sign for him. And, there's vacated targets there, like Rondale Moore being gone is going to help things out a little bit. Obviously, Marquise Brown being gone, definitely going to open up some opportunity. It's really like one of the more wide open depth charts in football right now in terms of the wide receiver core. And I just feel like it's accounted for in ADP because you do see pretty steep price tags for where we took MHJ, where we took Trey McBride today. But ultimately, like, I think they're worth it. I like Arizona a lot, man. And if you watched videos last year, I was really down on Kyler. Thought the year before last, he hit a point where I was not wanting to buy in quite as much. And also I had concerns, which ended up being true, that he wasn't going to play for half the year. And if he did play, they might go tank mode. But they didn't go tank mode. They, in fact, went harder down the stretch and looked even better. Really sold me down the home stretch. That team was feisty as hell down the home stretch. So I guess it's just the Cardinals video. I guess enough Eagles talk as well. But man, I like the Cardinals a lot. I think that you have some ways. If you have Kyler, though, without MHJ and McBride, I wouldn't say you're drawing dead, but you better have a good team around that. The stack is going to be really good this year, I think. Got to try to push Kyler now with having both of his stack options locked up. True, but we just heard a guy talking about Kyler getting scooped 12 picks after ADP because the guy didn't take him. So we'll see. I'm definitely going to try to push Kyler a little bit more, but how much I push Kyler is going to be subject to the room. What's Meatwad saying? Feels like we're drafting Marv at ceiling. I'll take some to not sit out Marv, but hate the price, CBH. What's stopping him from putting in Puka's year last year? Like, what's fundamentally stopping him from giving you that year that you would have paid that price tag for? Also, they changed the name to Hollywood Brown on here. That's pretty fucking dope. So don't go searching Marquise if you want to draft Marquise Brown now, I suppose. Honestly, we could. All right, so we only have 2 receivers, which is the tough part, which kind of makes me feel like we've got to take more receivers, right? But I would love Joe Mixon in this build. I'm very big on Joe Mixon this year. I have him ranked ahead of James Cook. I have Joe Mixon should be going in the mid-40s. I might have to adjust that for market prices a little bit more. But getting Joe Mixon, a guy who is going to reap the benefits of all the success I expect Houston to have this year, he's going to get you, as long as he's healthy, 15 touchdowns? Can we get to 20? I don't think it's out of the picture. Like Joe Mixon, the one thing he's had going for him is he's a good goal line back. He's a good receiver, good goal line back. To me, I think that Joe Mixon is greatly undervalued going to 59. If he's going to fall even further, great. He, to me, is like one of the more mispriced guys in a draft right now, especially at running back. All right, so nothing here we can correlate for. No Rams guys. No Cowboys. I will scoop Calvin Ridley here. Let's sort by ADP to make sure there's nobody I'm missing that I care about. Yeah, we'll scoop Calvin Ridley here. Try to get a little better at receiver. Calvin Ridley playing well at camp. Seems like the coaches are happy with him. Nothing really that's going to make him too crazy of a play. Does have a week 5 bye as well, which is something we ran into yesterday, where a lot of week 14 buys can make the wide receiver room feel a little bit uncomfortable. But we'll see if we can get non-week 5 buys a little bit later on. Easy Ridley. There we go. I mean, I was thinking about taking Ridley at 58. So Ridley at this pick at 63 feels even finer. Oh, you're killing me, man. What about Rachaad White was good last year? Besides, he got a lot of volume. Rachaad White, his coaches have pointed out very aggressively he didn't avoid tackles last year. They've then brought in a guy who avoids a lot of tackles in college. It's the one thing that Bucky Irving does better than anybody besides probably Marshawn Lloyd in this class coming in. It's just you gotta learn to read signal, creamy sauce. I want to like you, bud. I appreciate you coming back here after we sparred yesterday, and I said I made my usual mean jokes, but Jesus, man, please read the room. Read what offensive coordinators say. Read the fact there's a new offensive coordinator coming in. A lot of important things there. I mean, look, it's 2 takes. But this is the thing is like, as we get into May, June, July, August in particular, and no disrespect to creamy sauce, but we're going to see a lot more creamy sauces. A lot of guys coming in with these like microwave TV dinner takes that have not been there. And that's what I'm here for. I'm here to tell you that you're giving me fucking, what was the Kids cuisine, you're giving me fucking frozen meals with a duck and a surfboard and sunglasses level takes on the stream here. And I just want you to not do that. I want you to get a little better. It can certainly, certainly go a different way, but got to take the information we have. Grammy came back. They all come back. Like, there are people who fucking go like, oh, get mad at me and I'm never going to watch a video again. And they get a free membership because they're watching every stream. I know how it goes, guys. That's why I'm just staying true to me. I hear when people want to bitch about stuff or whatever, or get testy with me or go like, oh, you need to do this differently. It's like, dude, I'm just going to do my stream and you'll show up or you won't. I don't know. Like, I'm doing this for me. I just happen to be letting you guys in on watching me draft. I'm letting you watch me shit every day. That's what I'm letting you do. What it's worth, I'm a white believer, but I'll take advantage of the cheap ass Bucky prices. I mean, that's the thing to me. Bucky in the 170s is just a stupid price tag. It's the market's not paying attention right now. And that's something too where it doesn't no disrespect at all. Kyler gets scooped. Really thought a logical room here with a lot of QBs in this range could have pushed Kyler back, but we'll survive. We have Jalen Hurts who could beat Kyler in week 17, so I'm not going to sweat it. But I'm not taking Kyler at fucking 63. That's never going to happen in my world. Unless his ADP goes 63, then I'll take him there, but was not going to reach that far ahead of ADP for him. It's Gravy Sauce with Jerry Burner. Hey, I'm Gravy Sauce. You got to draft Dalvin Cook. This Justin Herbert character's doing a lot of great stuff. 1131 here. All right, we got the Tennessee double. No Kyler, but we get DeAndre Hopkins. So who needs Kyler Murray when you get DeAndre Hopkins? The guy who carried Kyler Murray to his best fantasy years. That's how we're going to spin this one. You do the Pete Overs at lying to yourself bit that I've seen on YouTube shorts. Is God here? I hear something about voyeur. Yes, you're watching me nude showering every day. Me and my outdoor shower. This is what my drafts are. I'll give you guys all my takes. I love the regulars here who and they can attest to it. Guys like Tyler, guys like Mathology, Robert Griffith III, Matthew Emerson, all the guys who've been here, historical anomalies, been here from day one. But besides that, but Creamy Sauce got me on a good day. That Rashad White take would have gotten me. I know it wouldn't have gotten me more than the Herbert versus Jaden Daniels one, but oh boy, that's a take. That's a thought. All right. Obviously, it feels like a good pocket to grab. To grab a running back. Zamir White working with the first team. Ramondre Brooks. I'm going to go Ramondre here. I've definitely had a DeAndre Swift bias a little bit. Honestly, I can talk myself into taking Jonathan Brooks over all of those guys, but maybe not Swift. I just don't want to be too biased towards DeAndre Swift. Just general concern about his usage pattern and really Shane Waldron's usage patterns, and that's the main thing. And frankly, too, the head coach last year could have made the backfield more concentrated and didn't as well. So that's why with DeAndre, I'm watching my DeAndre bags because I've been heavy on him. That said, if he's going to fall into 90 more, probably need to scoop him. DeAndre, there you go. What are my thoughts on Rashee Rice? I really don't think he'll be suspended this year due to the court case not being completed. Assumption. It's tough because he really deserves one of those hey, watch yourself kind of suspensions that the NBA used to be more diligent in giving, but the NFL does sometimes. When you have a violence thing where he attacks a guy, the guy didn't press charges, you have this legal thing with, it's endangering a lot of people, street racing on a highway. Feels like a time where the NFL should step in, and the modern NFL, they are doing that, going a little more above and beyond in terms of suspending guys. So I get absorbing him at the price tag. I wouldn't reach for him at ADP. I personally don't think he's the best play in the situation because I feel like he's got to lose 4 games. But it is possible we end up with a thing like Kamara, where Kamara was supposed to get suspended 1 year, then didn't get suspended because the court case didn't conclude. Then he got suspended. So, that's the risk you run. But I think it's valid to take Rashee Rice. It's just not a bet I want to die on the hill of personally. So the PR play they got on Rice yesterday, I did not. I don't know what you're talking about, but if you want to share it with me, happy to hear it. The only thing I saw, the most recent thing was Rashee Rice being at the Mavs game that Mahomes and we talked about this on stream, but Marquise Brown were also at, and Rashee Rice sitting over behind the basket while Mahomes and Marquise Brown are courtside. Thought that was a bit odd, but that's the only recent thing I've seen from him. We try to stack RB to go with Marvin McBride, or is that too much on one team? No, you can make a bet. I mean, it's just a bet that Atlanta is going to beat market ADPs. If Connor had fallen back to me at this range, I would have happily done that. really just correlated bets in general, just like a team's going to do well. Marvin Harris is going to get the ball downfield more. McBride's going to get the ball downfield more. So Connor has more touchdowns. It's all one symbiotic thing fundamentally. Obviously, that can get a little thin if you're playing with a low-paced team, a team that's going to Arthur Smith it up historically, and probably this year too for the Steelers. That's where you run into some risk there. But for me, I think that's perfectly fine. We're coming up here. All right. I mean, what are we really doing here? We're set up for a Will Levis double. How do you go over the top of a Will Levis double? I think you scoop the value on Jaden Daniels. I don't give a fuck, man. Put on the jersey that I can't afford to buy right now. Jaden Daniels, come on down. Jalen Hurts and Jaden Daniels. What a squad. We don't need Terry McLaurin on this team. We don't need Kyler Murray. We got 2 fucking dogs now who could beat Kyler Murray in week 17. Test me, Kyler Drafter. Drummond. Fucking Andre Drummond ass in there. Can't shoot a free throw. Drummond's the guy who scooped Kyler Murray, as you'll see here on screen, to be clear. Jaden all the time. Until Jaden comes up to the 80s, you're not going to stop me. Yeah, that's how it works, Creamy Sauce. You have one great rushing QB, you had another great one, and then you have a lot of production throughout the entire year. And in fact, likely to create tremendous amounts of distance between yourself, a QB, and other QBs. Yeah, that's crazy to do that. You, Creamy Sauce, man. I'm trying real hard. You are testing me. 2-2-4-1 here. I'm just going to scoop my bet. Brian Robinson. At a certain point, every draft can't be Jaden Daniels, but 106 price tag. Sorry. That's got to be one. Anyway, let's give the team a read. We haven't done that yet. 2-3-4-1 here. Jalen Hurts and Jaden Daniels. My 2 beautiful J's here coming into QB. Oh, why would you want 2 elite rushing QBs who are also great downfield? And you got to get a Justin Herbert instead. Jaden Daniels, though. We got Joe Mixon, Ramondre, Brian Robinson Jr. at running back. We have A.J. Brown, Marvin Harrison Jr., Calvin Ridley, DeAndre Hopkins, Tennessee double without the QB, the Arizona double without the QB. This team is really fucking unique and interesting, and I like it a lot. But, man. Oh, here we go. You never paid your Brees bet with him last year. Oh, with Tyler, we're not fulfilling bets, Creamy Sauce. That's a bad sign. That's the one thing you don't do in the DFS and betting space, my dude, is not pay off bets. I'll tell you that. Use the Splash Play week 16 and 17 cheat sheet all the time. Only do about 20 drafts a year. Thanks for putting that together. Thank you, Troy. I appreciate that. Very nice to hear that from Troy. I use it on screen too. I feel like I still know the week 17 matchups offhand, but I probably have internalized them a little bit less because I have the sheet here for me every day where I have my draft board right here, cheat sheet right here. So I'm glad that helps. I tried to make it clean and good for mobile. So happy to hear that. I don't know, Creamy Sauce. Promise I'm not. Tyler knows his business. I'm not gonna look. Judge Spags is gonna err on the side of Tyler, but I'm not gonna ban you over at Creamy Sauce. But oh boy, I do fear, Creamy, you are becoming a little trollish. So if you're not a troll, be aware you're coming off trolly. Besides the cum name, you're coming off pretty trolly. We are about 22 minutes in here, 23. So it's about the usual time people watch. So real fast, guys, hit the subscribe, hit the like button. All that helps me out a bunch here. Again, people they're going to watch my streams. They want the info. Ultimately, I'm still going to just do me. I'm going to try to entertain myself for an hour every day while doing drafts Monday to Saturday at 11 a.m. But also going to give you the best info I can, talk through things, try to explain why I view things the way I do. And you can decide what you want to do with it. But that's the process here on Splashway. If you enjoyed that as a process, hit the like button, subscribe down below. Helps you out a bunch here as a solo proprietor, just trying to make it in this workaday world. Just honestly, just trying to let you in on fucking what I'm doing, really. That's it. Let you in on it and maybe make a few buckaroos, but really not enough buckaroos to justify the EV loss sometimes. We persevere. And of course, drafters, got a draft coming up on there on Saturday. Use promo code SPLASH on there to get a $100 deposit match on drafters. And really, we'll tout again the rakeback stuff for their $15 tournament. Hard to ignore if you are somebody that is putting in 150 entries anywhere. Marshawn Lloyd, is it my birthday? But we're not going to take him. We're going to take Jahan Dotson because we got to correlate with our QB, our totally unnecessary second rushing QB who's going to produce a lot of fantasy points. We're going to take his wide receiver instead. So we've got technically a double with Jaden. We've got a double with Arizona. We've got a double with Tennessee. We've got a single with Philadelphia. I am having a lot of fun with this team. I bet this guy really thought he was getting me sniping Dallas Goedert, and I couldn't care less about not having Dallas Goedert on this team. Dallas Goedert, no thank you. All right, Justin Herbert's here. What a great pick that would be. I mean, this feels like a Marshawn spot, unless there's something correlation-wise I'm not seeing. Tennessee, Jacksonville. I'm not going to go get Gabe Davis right now. I'm going to go get Marshawn freaking Lloyd. I retweeted a clip of Marshawn Lloyd last night. I was smoking a little, watching AEW, and I saw this clip of Marshawn Lloyd juking the shit out of the guy working the pads in Green Bay's camp. So Marshawn Lloyd, that's all I needed. His shiftiness, man, just the way that he gets from side to side with shit. Ooh, I can't wait for you all to see Marshawn Lloyd. I wish that you all could experience the joy that I had. Really one of the few bright spots last year for USC was Marshawn Lloyd occasionally doing outlandish stuff, juking dudes. Now the data is even better for him that I looked up, of course, stuff that I swear by for Sports Info Solutions. So Marshawn Lloyd, another guy is 15 picks too high right now in ADP. You'd have to be high to watch AEW. I am AEW as a product, I find kind of tedious these days. The wrestling is still good. It really has proven to me that I'm somebody that used to just love good wrestling matches. Like I flew out to WrestleMania a couple times, paid $1,000 to sit ringside for Shinsuke Nakamura going against Sami Zayn in NXT when he debuted. I like good wrestling, but it can't be just good wrestling. You have to make stars. You have to make big personalities, and they just don't do that well. So I don't know. I do find AEW a little tedious, but it's not bad. WWE is better. It's not bad. So AEW Live with my kid as a WWE loyalist was an amazing show. There we go. I mean, look, honestly, I bet kids would love it too because the athletic spectacle you're seeing and all of that is higher. The true spectacle, though, is like WrestleMania. Like I went to WrestleMania with my wife, Alex, and like, just seeing the performances and whatever. And like Rhea Ripley had the motionless and white guys playing around on stage, like a crazy good performance. It was just like the fireworks and the costumes and the whole thing. That pageantry is much better, but that's how you make money, realistically. It's like, it's not just sick wrestling matches. It's like, it's I almost fumbled the ball and I caught it. It's not just sick wrestling matches. It's like making people, appear like a big deal. It's really the thing. For TV in general, that's the whole thing with like ratings. Star power drives everything ratings-wise. That's why the WNBA is getting better ratings. That's why college basketball did. It's all about stars. And football, obviously, does it on its own too. You're at the first ever AEW Dynamite. I mean, those are the wild days where they didn't know what they were doing as a company. Yeah, look, I always root for AEW. I haven't gone to a show because it's just like my era of going to shows has kind of passed for the most part. But I used to go to New Japan stuff. I used to go to Ring of Honor where the New Japan guys would go. Like I've seen Okada live. Like I should like AEW more than I do. I just think that Tony Khan is like out of his depth. I did actually apply to AEW when they first launched because I knew Chris Harrington through Twitter, and I did. Unfortunately, they didn't give me a job, but I would made that company sick. I worked at WWE. I know the biz. Kayfabe, brother. That's all we got to do. Jelani Woods at 149. That's a dumb shittest pick of all the dumb shit picks. Holy cow. Don't do that. Jelani Woods might fucking hurt himself and not play again in the NFL. 149. Oh, good Lord. Why? Giving me heart palpitations. I was as in on Jelani Woods in the early part of last offseason as anybody. And I can tell you, man, they have 5 tight ends that they want to play with some regularity. Jelani Woods is not it. Anyway, Tony Khan's batshit crazy. I will say one thing that I thought was really cool at Football Outsiders when I was there, and then we would obviously splash play, retweeting our shows and whatever, and some articles. Tony Khan followed Football Outsiders handle, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Like Tony Khan might like know splash play exists from seeing it on social media and going like, I'm not gonna ever watch that, but still cool nonetheless. Of course, because Tony Khan also Jacksonville part owner / head of analytics. All right, 2451 here. Some very tasty picks on the screen that would make sense for the team. But which do we do? Which do we prioritize? What do these fuckers have? Week 17 bring back for Washington or week 17 or just correlation for Washington? I'm going to go with Darnell Mooney here because this guy's got Atlanta. And I want to get my bring back for Washington. and we're going to see what happens. I might have risked Ben Sinnott, but if I don't get Ben Sinnott, I'm not going to cry about it. Okay, nobody's even talking about this, man. Come on. But another room where Herbert does go 143. So disagreeing with the market when your takes are not the best would be something I'd really warn against, but follow your heart, my friend. He does have a Colts mega stack, it seems. Yeah, the guy who took Jelani Woods. But again, just because you're taking a Colts mega stack does not mean that you have to take your tight end 50 spots ahead of ADP, is what I generally warn against. And again, I was at the top 10 loose drafter last year in BBM. I'm sure with how I'm drafted off my ranks this year, I'm going to be even looser. Call me the slot machine. I'm playing real loose. That said, you got to be aware of prices to some extent. All right, Sinnott comes back feeling good, feeling frisky about that. We got our 2 tight ends. Ben Sinnott going to end up. This is really one of those bets where a lot of sharp people who I don't think have paid enough attention have called him a fullback kind of guy. Some people just doing it as a bit or whatever to make fun of the ADP rising. That said, if I'm right about Ben Sinnott and some of this FUD is wrong about Ben Sinnott, this is going to be one of the stands that makes or break my year. So I'm happy to do takes that are going to make or break my year. But I guess can Sinnott really kill you at 160 when you have Trey McBride? Can't really kill this team. But that's how we're going to go. Let's give the team a read, though. Found a purple creamy sauce. I remembered correctly from last year. He was a troll. Same dude as gray creamy sauce. Oh, that's actually true. There was like a different color username. Yeah, it's possible we have multiple creamy sauces. All right, we have a 2-4-6-2 build. Let's give this team a read. So we have Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels, Joe Mixon, Ramondre, Brian Robinson Jr., Marshawn Lloyd. Need to add some more running backs. We're not going to do it yet. We have A.J. Brown, Marvin Harrison Jr., of course, Calvin Ridley, DeAndre Hopkins, Tennessee double, probably without the QB, Jahan Dotson, part of that double I have for Washington, Darnell Mooney, week 17 bring back for Washington, Trey McBride, Ben Sinnott. The flaws right now, no week 17 bring back for Arizona, no week 17 bring back for Tennessee, no week 17 bring back for Dallas. Though we can solve these things. So let's see how we stick the landing here. Brian Robinson stand will kill you more. What about, okay, so again, I really will say for anybody out there who wants to really understand why stuff that I'm digging my heels in is a certain way and why you might view it differently, please follow 32 Beat Writers at Twitter. At 32 Beat Writers is the handle. Follow the Coach Speak Index. Follow those 2 things. Read every tweet. Go back and read every tweet going back until April that they've talked about the Commanders, that they've talked to the Commanders, that they've had beat reports from the Commanders. It's all been about them wanting to run the ball, goal line, and between the 20s with Brian Robinson. They want to use Austin Eckler as a change of pace back. That's not going to be a bad take. If the take is bad, it's because the Washington offense cratered and maybe Jaden ran more in the red zone than I think is possible. But like every signal right now from Dan Quinn has been in favor of Brian Robinson being a bell cow back for the team and Austin Eckler being used more effectively as a change of pace guy. So I don't think that's the thing that kills the portfolio personally, but you're allowed, again, your take is your take. I'm telling you why it's mine. But I really would say if you're going to come to me with any of the stuff, like really please try to read into like the team innuendos and stuff and like signal from team. Most important part. Like we talk about this every time. And Austin Eckler is not that good is also a thing that is fair to say after this past year. They want to run the ball 20 to 30 times a game. I think they said like 30. But yeah, Again, a lot of great signal. Maybe Eckler comes back and has it all. But Brian Robinson was quietly very solid last year and just the guy who's going to soak up what I'm expecting to be an offense that'll be an ascendant offense and has to score points because the defense is not getting much better. And it wasn't good last year. There's going to be a lot of opportunity for a team that's also going to play at one of the fastest paces in the league. Cliff Kingsbury was top 5 in pace every year as a coach. Like there's too many things for Washington. But I understand people are you're not going to believe it until you'll see it for a lot of people out there. But this is why I put myself out there. I've been right about a lot of these things for multiple years in a row. So believe what you want. We're going to keep pushing Will Levis. And instead, we actually, we can add on Michael Wilson. Would like to get some more bringbacks for stuff. And I do think we could use maybe, I don't know. What are these running backs doing for me at this point? Not much. I'm going to take Luke McCaffrey. Could take Will Levis for the double stack we have for Tennessee, but I'll increase my Washington bet sans Terry McLaurin. I do take a lot of Terry McLaurin as a part of my Washington bet, and we'll push back here, see what we got this next pick. We all thought B-Rob was a late round steal last year, and he's in the game same spot. I mean, there are people that defended Gibson to the death. I was not one of those people. So I've been on Robinson for multiple years now. Like, I'm definitely in the bag for B-Rob, even though he's not the most electric back in the world, but he just does what you have to do to stay on the field and to get high value touches. So that's it. Was thinking about DeMarcus Robinson on the way back. That's not going to happen for me right now. Gosh. RB is dead, huh? I have Estime ranked higher than this guy, but I am going to take Foreman today just to give me a shot at production. I don't know that I need early production, to be honest, but I just need a guy who can maybe give me some spike weeks, maybe give me a few flex spots in the first 8 weeks of the season. So that's Deonta Foreman. Let's give this team a read. And that Cleveland bet, Cleveland bet doesn't correlate with anything either. We got Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels. We have Joe Mixon, Ramondre, Brian Robinson Jr., the much debated Brian Robinson Jr., Marshawn Lloyd, and Deonta Foreman. So we have some guys to score points in week 14, hopefully. Fuck, man. Me and week 14 are just arch enemies. The NFL screwed me so bad on week 14 buys. A.J. Brown, Marvin Harrison Jr., Calvin Ridley, DeAndre Hopkins, John Dotson, Darnell Mooney, and Luke McCaffrey. Then at tight end, we have Trey McBride and Ben Sinnott. Familiar duo. Creamy sauce. There's people a lot smarter than you that like Deonta Foreman quite a bit. I'm not necessarily one of them, but really, again, just knowing ball a little bit. Can you hold the ball up on stream? Probably not. Is there an outside chance Eckler steals his job? No. He's not going to steal the job. He'll take touches away. I think Eckler's a 10 to, I say 10 to 15. I would say probably more like 10 to 13 touchback. But you're talking Robinson getting 15 to 18. Like, I think that's really where you're getting it. And the high value touches, I would think, have to go Robinson's way. Dan Quinn likes a power back historically. I would think we'll like one here. We shall see. You can make the bet. It's an ambiguous backfield. You are fully invited for people out there. Like, legitimately, like, this is the take to have. If it's an ambiguous backfield, new offensive coordinator, new head coach, let alone both, take a bet on any running back you want, at their ADPs. And just for that draft, you're making the bet this guy's going to be the one. That said, for a personal bet, like, yeah, I make the bet on a certain guy. Like, I like more. Like for Seattle, new coaching staff there, people love Kenneth Walker at his ADP. I would rather take Charbonnet at his ADP. I don't take Charbonnet a ton because he doesn't align perfectly a lot. For whatever reason, I think there's other guys I like more in his range. But that said, like, that's ambiguous backfields for you. It's up to you to make the choice in a particular draft, like which bet you want to make. And for a team like Miami last year, I thought Pete made the point, and I was doing it in my drafts as well, independent of him making the point. A Miami back in every draft. Like, if you did that, you would have ended up with a lot of Mostert. You would end up with a lot of Achane. Would have been happy with either. You'd have also had, whatever percentage of Jeff Wilson. But ultimately, like, that's the bet. If you make an ambiguous bet, it's like, just make it for that one draft and hope that you hit. Is there an outside chance Rodriguez? No. That was fluky because everybody was hurt at the end of last year. Rodriguez has not been working with the first team that I'm aware of at all. I think he's gone down. Jalen Tolbert was a Dallas bringback I would have liked to have had. We did not get anything going with the Philadelphia stack or bringback besides A.J. Brown. A bit of a downer, but it's okay. Who are the RB2s people are sleeping on? But fucking, this guy took Estime? What? Oh, god damn it. Fucking Drummond. It's Andre Drummond ass motherfucker. Bucky Irving would be one. Marshawn Lloyd would be one, though I think that one people will catch up with at some point. Really, just everything that would have been nice. Colby Parkinson could have been a nice Rams play for a bring back. All right. What the fuck? What do we fucking do here? Keaton Mitchell coming back from the ACL, providing production later in the year is okay. Justice Hill would be the inverse bet on that. I'm going to take Keaton here. I have him ranked at 192. I'm still in on him. He's at ADP, though. Prefer him to Dameon Pierce, obviously, especially with Joe Mixon on the scene. But Dameon Pierce, I think, loses his job to Jawar Jordan this year. Jawar Jordan, a very Mixon-like player, coming out of Louisville. I forget where he's coming out of. But yeah, he looks a lot like Mixon. He's going to play like Mixon, and Dameon Pierce does not play like Mixon. So What's that? Don't think that's true, but I'm not going to look it up right now because the draft's almost over. He also didn't really play. He played like one game. So you're talking to the smallest of sample size things, but it seems like Jason, you're in the bag for Chris Rodriguez. So make the bet on Chris Rodriguez and come back to me in October and go, oops, which, happened a good amount last year. Jerry came back and admitted Dalvin Cook was wrong. You can come back. Yeah, I know, dude. That's what I fucking talk about here every day on stream. I'm the one who says that more than anybody. 2-6-7-2. Can make a bet. We can increase our Washington Atlanta bet. I think would be okay. Dylan Labe would also be okay. I'm going to go Rondale. If I can click it. No! Why was that so slow? Why? I clicked that with tremendous time in advance. Well, unstacked Derek Carr here, who's not going to make a lineup more than once with Jalen Hurts and Jaden Daniels, is our final pick. I don't think that kills this team or anything. That was fucking annoying. 3-6. I blame Jason for fucking efficiency. Guy, that's the thing I say. I say that about EPA. It's why I talk about EPA positively all the time. Motherfucker. Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels, Derek Carr are my QBs. One of these things does not belong. Joe Mixon. You know what, Creamy Sauce? Fucking run a lap. You're the one paying the price because you don't really add value. We come back in 5 minutes and the stream is over. Joe Mixon, Ramondre Stevenson, Brian Robinson Jr., Marshawn Lloyd, Deontay Foreman, Keaton Mitchell. Honestly, we didn't even fucking need the last two running backs. I should have just taken wide receivers or something. I have to get more comfortable where, like, these guys all have roles, even though they weren't top picks. I guess the week 14 bye part is what puts me there. But then I took another week 14 bye. Christ. Going to be a tough week 14. Running back. A.J. Brown, Marvin Harrison Jr., Calvin Ridley, DeAndre Hopkins, John Dotson, Darnell Mooney, Luke McCaffrey at wide receiver, and Trey McBride Benson at a tight end. Derek Carr non-click doesn't help. Getting Rondale Moore would have been nice and fun to get a big fade on like the key parts of Atlanta in week 17. But I think we survived. And Creamy Sauce definitely the Tank Bigsby of Best Ball EPA. But you know what? Creamy Sauce will get another shot, I guess, just like Tank Bigsby did. We'll see what happens. Jason, you are correct, but it's okay. I'm still in a good mood. Just don't tell me the efficiency gets more volume. That's my entire thesis of football. It's like the thing I believe in more than anything. You can't have that. That one's mine. Anyway, guys, draft number 88 in the books. We're closing in on draft 100. So please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the like button down below. Your support does matter a lot here. Efficiency creates volume, guys, as I always say in every video. So please hit the like, subscribe, and I'll keep doing the work here. I'll keep showing you my work every day on stream. That's the promise. Underdog as well. Promo code SPLASH on there. Up to $250 in bonus cash. They call it boner cash because you'll be so excited. Fun tournaments coming out for Underdog too. If I had to guess, let me put the predictions in. The sprint is going to be a shorter season tournament, possibly full points for it would be my guess. The marathon, if I had to guess, is them actually coming for drafters and doing a full week 17 tournament with no pods and no eliminations. Those are my guesses for those two tournaments. But Underdog's got a lot of tournaments out there that are not Best Ball Mania that I do on drafts on stream here every day. So check it out for yourself. Underdog promo code SPLASH up to $250 in bonus cash. And come back to me when my predictions end up right. It's not inside info, but I think for reading tea leaves, that'd be my guess. Want to build your bankroll using sports betting? Use the top of market data, the best sportsbooks around the world, the ones with $50,000 bettors, $100,000 bettors. Because of that information, they have the best data to take. That's what we do for you every day at Probably. So check it out for yourself at probably.com/subscribe. 50% off with promo code SPLASH on there at probably.com/subscribe. You also get a 7-day free trial on the App Store. And I'll leave it in the pinned comments too, because you guys need to leave 5 stars and a review if you want to enter to win the next guest hosting spot on Splash Play coming up in next month. And Stochastic too, if you're playing DFS, check that out. Promo code SPLASH on there, 15% off. And of course, Drafters, going to be on there on Saturday. And you can draft along with me there because it just doesn't matter as much to me on Drafters. So check it out, Drafters, promo code SPLASH up to $100 deposit match. And again, you get free entries at 10 entries. You get a free entry at 25 entries, two free entries at 50, at 75. You end up getting 7 free entries if you put 100 in. You just get $100 back. You put in 150. So the tournament ends up basically rake free, which is one of the best deals you will get in best ball this year. So check it out on Drafters, $500K to first place in that $15 tournament. And I'll be doing it on Saturday here on stream. Shout out to all these fine folks who hit the join button, who are my true ride or dies here on Splash Play, along with our guy Jeff T. You too can hit this add to this list by hitting the join button down below. It supports the show. It allows me to keep doing the good work that I do here, and also get access to 10 team reviews a month from me, a VIP Discord, and my weekly Spags rankings updates, which you can see. I do try to deviate from market enough to represent what I feel. I do try to be, aware of the market too with the price tags. But I think even if you're just reading all the blurbs that I've put together for over 200 something players, you'll be getting value out of it. So check it out for yourself here. Hit the join button down below. And of course, follow me at Chris Spags. I'm crucifying myself. Follow me at Chris Spags. Follow the show at Splashblade Pod. Don't forget, efficiency gets you more volume. I'll see you guys again soon. Enjoy your days. Good luck. Good luck. I'm doing this wrong. Good luck, motherfuckers.